Hello everyone, and welcome to my coaching videos, Awareness Moments. My name is Rabih Shafi. In a previous video, we talked about ego and the dangers of ego. In today's video, we will talk about the effects of ego on our behavior. We'll talk about the difference between acting and reacting, and how an ego can take an action and turns it into a reaction, and how we can control it. The terms actions and reactions sound very similar, yet they are very different. An action is a premeditated activity. An action tends to be a calculated behavior that's based on a situation that presents itself with given facts that are considered. On the other hand, a reaction tends to be spontaneous and sometimes involuntary. It's usually emotionally charged, and it's based on expectations that are not always 100% correct. A reaction tends to be based on previous experience. To give you a bit of perspective how different actions and reactions are perceived, one has to look at the court system. In a court of justice, judgments against premeditated actions carry totally different consequences from those of involuntary and spontaneous reaction. Although a reaction tends to take place in response to an action that's coming from the other side, we can always take a reaction and turn it into an action. Let's take an example. If my boss accuses me of being in delay of the project, a reaction can be, "Why are you picking on me? I'm spending so much time and so many hours on this project." That would probably draw another reaction from my boss. Or I could turn it into an action and say, "You are right, the project is in delay. However, I'm confronted with a problem that I'm working on and I'm hoping to resolve very soon. And hopefully we'll be able to catch up with the project." In both cases, the fact is that the project was in delay. We cannot deny this. But in the second case, where I took actions, I may have diffused the situation with my boss. What usually triggers reactions instead of actions are simply our own emotions that are driven by our ego. Let's take a similar example. Let's take an example with a partner that you love very dearly. If your partner complains that you are again late for dinner, chances are you will say, "I'm sorry, I was held up by my boss, I could not be on time." You basically love this partner and you sympathize with them. You don't have any negative emotions toward them. Although your partner knows that it's not up to you to be late for dinner. On the other hand, if you did not have good emotions toward your partners, you would probably have different reaction. Your ego will immediately take control of the situation, and your reaction would be something like, you work hard all day just to come home and be confronted with more pressure from inside the house. Of course, that will draw a sharper reaction from your partner, who will probably say, "Don't expect dinner from now on." And imagine the reactions back and forth. You never know where the conversation will end up. Now let's take this further. Think about politics. What would happen between countries that are not actual lovers? That can be very destructive, right? Often in history, many countries went to wars simply because its leadership reacted, because they let their ego react. Learning from history, many countries have put together a political structure and a decision-making structure that takes away important decision-making from the hands of one person. It's designed to ensure that only actions, not reactions, take place. Although it's kind of fun to watch under such systems, politicians make a reaction one day and take it back the next day. The difference between well-calculated actions and risky reactions could be mere few seconds considerations, just long enough to realize that our ego is involved. Please be aware that your actions are under your control. you are fully in charge. Your reactions are often driven by your ego, especially those that are emotionally charged. If you remember from our last video, that ego is in full control of the mind and is very quick to react, taking away the opportunity from us to stop and think. And that is a challenge for you. For those reasons, most of our reactions will have regrettable consequences. Reactions tend to draw reactions from others. And with each round of reactions, the consequences are even more severe. All those rounds of reactions will simply satisfy the ego. However, if we have reacted and received back an action from the other side instead of reaction, we have put ourselves at a disadvantage. We have basically lost a debate. Remember the example earlier about the dinner with a partner? If you had reacted and snapped at the partner may have decided to take an action instead of reaction. A possible scenario would be that the partner decides to pack and leave. They have basically taken a few moments to consider that they do a lot of efforts to make sure that you have a warm meal when you get home. However, you do not appreciate their efforts, and this situation cannot continue. By the time you realize that they acted, you have lost. Can you take a reaction and turn it into an action? Very easily. By simply being aware that your ego and your emotions are behind your reactions. Once you have control over your reactions, you can help diffuse the reactions of other people. Just using the same awareness, people are acting based on their emotions and driven by their ego. Once you recognize this, then you're able to diffuse any effect their reactions have on you. To succeed, you need to be in stillness and peace. Meditate. In future videos, we'll have a lot of other related topics. If you want to be notified when the next video is posted, don't forget to push the subscribe button below. I have included some links to other meditations and other related videos in the description. Thank you for watching.